You know, the amount of respect this guy had in hockey, especially from his former junior teammates, tried to make a rough situation a lot better for him, and it did, and it led to an iconic moment in hockey history. So today we're not going to try to bring too much light on the circumstances that caused this to happen, but the positivity of it. There was no way that Wayne Gretzky and Bobby Orr would have played on the same team were it not from the unforeseen set of circumstances involving this great player. Now, Bill Hindle Jr., born in Sherbrooke, 5'10", 175, was a Canadian pro ice hockey left winger who played 18 games in the NHL for the Stars and Rangers between 1972 and in the WHA for the Crusaders during the 474 campaign. The left winger played internationally for Canada's national squad at the 69 Worlds. Now, he began his junior hockey career in Winnipeg, playing for the Winnipeg Braves, and then joined the Oshawa Generals of the OHA for the 66 season, where he became teammates with Bobby Orr. That year, Oshawa played in the Memorial Cup, and Heindel put up impressive numbers, scoring 13 goals and 21 points in the postseason that year. After one season in Oshawa, Heindel joined the Eastern Hockey League's Clinton Comets, where he had his most productive season as a pro, scoring 52 goals in 67-68. He then spent a couple of years with the Canadian national team under Father Bauer and was a member of the squad that played at the 69 Worlds, where he notched 4 goals and an assist in 9 games for the 4th-place Canadians. Now, while his NHL rights were held by the Bruins because of the link between Oshawa and Boston, Heindel never played for the parent club, and in 70 was claimed by the Stars from Boston in the NHL reverse draft. Now, in the next 2 seasons, Heindel spent more time playing for Minnesota's AHL affiliate, the Cleveland Barons, than the NHL, and was left unprotected in the 72 NHL expansion draft, where he was claimed by the incoming Atlanta Flames. Atlanta quickly traded him to the Rangers for, get this, Bill Hogaboom, where he played 4 games for New York, which was the end of his NHL career. The following season, Heindel joined the WHA's Cleveland Crusaders, who had acquired his WHA rights from the Winnipeg Jets. After 2 seasons playing in Sweden with BK Backen, Heindel retired from pro hockey. In 77, he turned to coaching, serving for a time as the bench boss of the Steinbeck Huskies, who reached the 1979 Allen Cup final, but lost the national title to the Petrolia Squires. Now, his father was Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame and Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame and Museum honored member Bill Hindle Jr., who also played for and won the Memorial Cup in 1941 with the Winnipeg Rangers. But here it gets tragic and very, very important. And we say this as a public service, not to trigger anybody who's listening to this, but facts are facts. Now, Heindel's coaching career was ended by a car accident in which he suffered a serious back injury. Coupled with the death of his father and a failed marriage, he fell into drinking and depression. He attempted suicide in 1980 by jumping off a bridge in Winnipeg. He survived, but was left a paraplegic. He was supported by his former hockey teammates, including Orr, with whom he played in Oshawa as a junior. Orr eventually organized a charity game in Winnipeg to raise money for Heindel. The game, which took place April 25, 1980, was played between former pro players and former members of the Canadian national team and was attended by over 15,000 people at the Winnipeg Arena. Over 85,000 was raised for Heindel's recovery. Among the players to join Orr was Wayne Gretzky, and the event marked the only time the 2 NHL superstars played in the same game, because obviously Orr's had retired from the Blackhawks, and Gretzky only came into the WHA in late in '79. Now, from this fundraiser, Heindel's outlook improved, and he became an administrative assistant for the Canadian Paraplegic Association. He eventually encouraged his friends and associates to help raise money for spinal cord research, the result of which became an annual golf tournament in Winnipeg, which raised over $200,000 in its first 9 years. The event, called the Will to Win, helped fund Winnipeg's Spinal Cord Research Center. Unfortunately, he passed away at age 45 in Richmond, BC on March 4th, 1992, leaving to mourn numerous colleagues, friends, and family. Now, very, very impressive numbers over the years. Winnipeg Braves, 1964, 14 points in 26 games. Now, at the Memorial Cup, he played for Victoriaville Bruins because back then you could pick up players to go, and he had 7 points in 11 games. Now with the Braves of the MJHL, the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, not the Maritime Junior Hockey League, he had 60 points in 65, 27 goals with 10 points in the postseason. Now with Oshawa, he had 41 points in 48 games in 66, and was not actually drafted, ladies and gentlemen, but back then it was just a few rounds. Now, 9 points in the postseason and 21 points in the Memorial Cup playoffs. Now, with the Clicking Comets over 2 years, very successful, 69 goals, 142 points in the regular season, and 20 points and 13 goals in 23 postseasons. 2 seasons with the Canadian national team, actually their last 2 years of world play before the boycott, 69 and 70. Minnesota in 71, a goal and assist in 12 regular season contests. And with the Barons, 25 goals and 36 points in 60 games and 8 points in 8 playoff contests. With the Barons in 72, he had 47 points in 70 games with 22 goals and 3 points in 6 playoff matches. 73 with the Rangers, a goal in 4 games, but with the Providence Reds, put out some dynamite numbers yet again, 21 goals and 43 assists for 64 points. 74, he split time with the Cleveland Crusaders and the Jacksonville Barons. That year, 14 goals with the Crusaders in that season, and 1 point in the postseason. And again, with the Jacksonville Barons, 5 points in 9 games. The Cape Codders in 75, 59 points in 74 games. And with BK Bakken over 2 seasons, he had 30 goals in 53 contests. He finished his elite career with Osberger EV of the German number 2 league. And, of course, the big 4 goals in the 69 World Championships where Team Canada finished fourth. Now, he was a MJHL second All-Star team member in 65. And, of course, a Turnbull Cup MJHL title holder in 65, right before the what was the very important Memorial Cup year for the squad, as we say. Didn't make it to the Memorial Cup, but still quite a bit. Now, Heindel basically career was that of his father, a very, very dedicated player to hockey. But, sometimes bad things happen to good people, and like I said, when you go through the pit of depression, sometimes you'll make rough decisions. But ironically, ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to show hockey players, you don't forget their childhood friends and heroes. Bobby Orr didn't have to do that. Gretzky didn't have to do that. The respect he had, and Bobby Orr felt that he needed a break in life to combat some rough decisions that unfortunately led to some terrible results. But like I said, I remember when that game was held, and Bobby Orr didn't really want to talk much in the media because it was pretty hard, because I think Bobby would have preferred Bill playing with their fellow players side by side, like a Team Canada alumni game. And Team Canada 72 was awful important to Bobby Orr. In Canada Cup 76, he basically played in 76 as a cripple. 72 he couldn't play. He tried everything he could. I don't agree with Bobby Orr's politics, but I'm not going to take away from the respect he had for his fellow teammates, and that's the way it goes. But in Winnipeg hockey history, his family means a lot to many people. It's just rough, and it just goes to show how the Winnipeg hockey community will support people that they look up to, and he was a hero to many people. But I remember that time for Team Canada, we were kind of in the bronze medal chase all the time against the Czechs and the Russians, and a couple of breaks here and there we could have won gold at the 68 Olympics. 69 they had a really, really strong team. And just to recap that, ladies and gentlemen, we had a good chance to do well alone, but unfortunately we couldn't go all the way. The Czechs and Sweden and the Russians were quite strong that year, and it is what it is. And the way it worked with the round robin format, Canada, Finland, and the States, we had a rough go of it. The States were relegated to the B pool that year. They went 0-10, and Finland was 2-8. So the Soviet Union, Sweden, and the Czechs were really tough that year. It was Pretty freaky. A high scoring tournament too, 7 goals per game. So that's one of the best World Juniors for offense in quite some time. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Vintage Team Canada podcast, let us know with a like, comment, or subscribe. And if you knew Bill and support him as a player, WHA or NHL or the minors, please let us know. But you know that 79 Allen Cup there, that was a pretty good tournament. There was a lot of strong senior teams in Canada at the time because, on the East Coast here, the Campbellton franchises, Dalhousie Rangers, the Nova Scotia, different places. Allen Cup was really hot back then, as comparable as ever, those late 70s Allen Cup tournaments to AHL and IHL of the same era. You got some really former college stars, former minor pro stars, and like I said, nothing like a better than an Allen Cup tournament back in the day. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share, and keep your stick in the ice.